Hello world, what's going on? Welcome back to the Prolific Podcast, episode 12. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. We got a lot to get into today. A lot of basketball related topics. I don't think we're gonna do anything else besides the basketball. We have a one little filler topic to include, but not gonna waste any time. Let's get right into it. Make sure you leave a like on the video. As always, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch at Strolific, all of my social media handles. I would deeply appreciate that. It is June 14th, Friday morning. The Toronto Raptors are your 2019 NBA champions. Congratulations to them. Kawhi Leonard winning his second Finals MVP. Amazing / disappointing game last night. Honestly, it was a good game, man, until about the third quarter. It was a good game throughout, but obviously the big story, Klay Thompson going down in the third quarter towards the tail end, it kind of took my energy out, because I knew at that point that the Raptors were gonna take control of the game and most likely pull away, which they did. The basketball guys they just told the Warriors it's not your year. It's literally not their year. Kevin Durant going down in the semifinals. He takes a month off with an apparent calf injury. I don't think it was a calf injury. I thought it was an Achilles injury. Initially, they said it was a calf. He takes a little bit over a month off. He comes back. He re-injures, and that turns out to be an Achilles. He ruptured it. He had successful surgery, so I wish him a speedy recovery. And then, Kevon Looney going down game 2 of the NBA Finals with, chest rib injury. Iggy was kind of hobbled. Then Klay last night, and he went down in game 2 or 3 with the hamstring. It was either it was a hamstring injury. Excuse me. So the basketball guys were just like, no, this was not the Warriors year. And excuse me, just had breakfast. I had to rush a little bit. So Klay Thompson tore his ACL last night, game 6. When they showed the replay and the way his knee buckled, I knew it was either ACL or MCL. He went back to the locker room after he came back out to make his free throws so he could potentially come back into the game. But then he went back into the locker room. They said that he was jumping and running around trying to keep, trying to stay loose. And so I thought to myself, maybe he just hyperextended it, extended it a little bit, so that ligament is still intact, so he could still potentially play. But reports came out this morning, or last night or this morning, that it was a torn ACL. So, I mean, I do believe you make your own destiny, but the Warriors this year was just not their year. The basketball guys, they looking down on the Warriors. Let's pull Kevin Durant up out of there. They seen Klay Thompson score. He had 30 points at that point during the game, and they seen that he was torching and scorching hot, and they was like, let's pick him out as well. So, but Toronto played well regardless of the fact. Let me pull out my notes real quick for game 6. Toronto did play well. Huge credits to them. I'm not, trying to devalidate their championship. A championship is a championship. Injuries are a part of the game, unfortunately. Let's see, Kawhi Leonard had 22 points. Van Vliet was huge in the second half. Kyle Lowry was huge in the first half. Pascal Siakam was huge. They just had such a balanced attack throughout the whole series, man. One game you can get 20, 30 from, 1 to 3 players. Pick your poison. So kind of just to run through the game, Kyle Lowry, he scored Toronto's first like 11 points. Like literally, he was killing them. He was killing them. I thought that with as well as they played in the first quarter and in the first half, Golden State should have been happy that they were only down 3 points, I think. Draymond Green, I want to touch on him a little bit. It's a team game, right? If I had to point a finger though at one player and say you costed this game, it would be Draymond Green, unfortunately. And I like Draymond Green. I like his engine. I like his motor. Like that he's a team player. But let me pull up his stats. He had early in the first quarter, I think he had maybe 3 turnovers alone in the first quarter. And the turnovers that he had throughout the game, he may have finished with 6, 7, or 8. Let me see real quick. The turnovers that he had were like huge. It would be, Golden State's on a mini 6-0 run, and they're getting momentum. Momentum's, shifting over towards their side, and they'll get like a defensive stop. He'll grab the ball and he'll try to push it and throw a bad pass and turn it over. Or, I remember he tried to draw a foul, a specific play. They said they had a momentum, the same scenario I just said, and he pushed the ball up the court. He was basically by himself, like 1v3. And there was a Golden State player on the far corner. And I think he tried like the rip through play because Kyle Lowry was defending him. And he didn't get the foul call. He turned the ball over. Raptors came back and scored. He was still on the other end complaining about the call. So just a lot of situations that was like that really took like, it kept, the momentum either balanced or on the Raptors side, on the Raptors side, as you thought that, it was switching over to Golden State's, and he would kind of kill the momentum with his turnovers. He had 8. He had half of their turnovers. He had 8 turnovers yesterday. Trying to do a little bit too much. Oh, excuse me. If I keep like burping and stuff like that, I apologize. All right, I might edit it out. We'll see. I might be too lazy for that. Raptors came out, man, 7 threes in the first quarter. So like I said, Golden State should have been really happy that they were only down or tied. I don't remember the score after the first quarter, but they were still within arm's reach for sure. They had to be happy with that. Steph Curry, first quarter, second quarter, he wasn't affecting the game with his scoring, but he was more affecting the game with penetrating the ball, and he was, passing to Clay or Iggy. Iggy actually came up pretty huge. He missed a few gimmies, but I said in my last podcast that they were going to win Game 6. Andre and Draymond will have to, put the ball in the hoop. They got to be aggressive. Andre was really aggressive. He missed some big free throws, though. Draymond Green wasn't really aggressive. And when he was aggressive, he was making the wrong plays. Hence the 8 turnovers that he had throughout the game. Clay was huge, man. It was Game 6 Clay. It was, he was, thinking that we were going to get the Clay from, Game 6, 2015 or 2016 against OKC. OKC went up 3-1 in the series, and he scored, like 11 threes and 30-something points. He had 30 points at the third quarter, so he was going to get at least 40. He was cooking, and, what happened with him is history. Let's see, some other key notes that I want to go over. Van Vliet had 12 points in the fourth quarter. Van Vliet was cooking in the fourth quarter, and throughout the entire playoffs, man, Van Vliet, he makes those shots that you just go, like, really, you know what I'm saying? Little shot clock go, as Chris Smoove would say, the shot clock cheese type shots is what he would make. Banking shots in, and just throwing it up and it's going in. But in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game, he played really well. He hit listen, Steve Kerr put Quinn Cook into the game, right? 5 minutes left in the game, and he wanted some more offense. VanVleet brings the ball up the court. He comes off a screen from like Ibaka or Gasol, and Quinn Cook's guarding him. And I don't know why Quinn Cook thought to maybe he was following the roller when he was still in front of VanVleet. So miscommunication between him and Draymond, and he maybe thought he was going to switch. VanVleet hit him with a mean step back and got like 5 feet of separation, just draining 3. And I think Steve Kerr took him like right back out, Quinn Cook, after that. But VanVleet was huge. Like I said, Kyle Lowry was huge. You know, there was this narrative going on with the Raptors when I think the Bucks were up like 2-0 or 2-1. And people were saying, man, Kawhi doesn't have enough help. You know, Kawhi doesn't. He's doing it all on his own. I don't ever want to hear that narrative again. It's crazy how like these analysts and these reporters change their opinions daily and on a game-by-game basis. I think it's absolutely crazy. Kawhi was probably the 4th best player last night. He was Toronto's 4th best player. You know, VanVleet or Lowry, I would probably say Lowry was their best player yesterday. Then VanVleet, then like Siakam, and then Kawhi. And even then, Ibaka had a huge game as well. So Toronto is really balanced. It was a balanced effort. Kawhi did lead them though with his defense and his offense. So congratulations to them. That's their first championship in franchise history. Canada, I know they're probably going to be going crazy. I know Drake's going crazy. That's why I kind of wanted, like, I'm a Lakers fan, so I could care less who won. Was kind of rooting for the Raptors to win, just because, like I said, it'll be the first in history, and you know, Canada's first NBA championship. I wanted that for the Raptors. I was kind of tired of Golden State winning, but I did want, them to win, with at least, Clay in the game. KD was already taken out. I think with Steph and Clay, it could have been, a more competitive series, and I wish that would have went to Game 7 and they would have won at home. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I prolonged that so much. But one last stat that I want to touch on, man, for that game, and then we're going to move on and talk about kind of, the NBA teams going into the next season. And we'll start off with the Warriors since we're still on the topic. Steph Curry, 0 for 8 in his playoff career when it comes to like go-ahead field goals in the final 20 seconds of the game. 0 for 8. Last, second to last play last night, Warriors are down 1. Warriors inbound the ball cross court to Draymond, either Draymond or Iggy, and Curry on the left wing comes off a curl and he gets a good look at the shot. He gets a good look. He comes off a curl, shoots a 3, and it hits off like the back iron. Steph Curry, he just throughout, I try to think of specifically playoff games or just games in general to where he closes game. He hits shots. Like, for example, game 5, he hit, that shot with like a minute left. He hit a 3 coming off a curl again, tied the game. And that's a big shot. And that can be identified as clutch, right? Because, like I said, it's a minute left, you're down 3. He comes off the curl and hits a big shot. And also game 6 at Houston, he took over that game. But besides that game, I cannot recall another game, in their recent playoff runs to where he like closed the game. I feel like when the moment is the biggest, he comes up short. Man, a lot. He did a lot in the finals against before KD got there, because KD was taking over the finals games at that point. He was closing, but before KD got there, those first 2 finals, he was coming up short against the Cavs. Um, he didn't play too well this game either, and so he had a good game 3 is when he scored 47, but those 47 points didn't seem like significant, So I don't Curry, man. There's a reason the Warriors got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is that guy that he closes the game. He has the ability to kind of get his shot off whenever he wants, as opposed to Steph Curry. Steph Curry has to come off screens and pick and roll and stuff like that, and that's why I think he is unable to close games the way Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, pick your poison. So they didn't talk about it last night. I wonder if they're going to talk about it today, but he needs to be called out for it, because he has not, when the stage is at his brightest, he comes up short a lot. And I love Steph Curry. I'm not a Steph Curry hater. I love Steph Curry. I think he's redefined NBA. He's changed the culture of the game. He's an amazing fucking shooter. I love Steph Curry. I'm not hating on him. I'm just being straight up and I'm being real about it. So yeah, again, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors. You're 2019 NBA champions. Like I said, it just was not meant to be for the Warriors. Basketball gods were like, no, not this year. You've gone to the finals, 5 straight years, which hasn't been done in, a long time. Going into next season, I don't know what the Warriors are going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, because Kevin Durant's not going to play next season. Most likely. 95% chance he doesn't play at all next season. You have Klay Thompson, torn ACL, so he's going to be rehabbing for at least 8 months before he's probably able to play. So I imagine he wouldn't be back until March, if that. So what do you do? It's going to be hard for them to get to the playoffs with just Steph Curry and their current constructed roster, because if you offer Kevin Durant and Klay the max, they have to go into the luxury tax. They're not going to be able to necessarily change their roster. But if you keep KD and Klay, but they're not there, KD's not going to be there for the whole season. Klay's not going to be there for at least 3/4 or half the season. They might need to consider next season just being like a rest season, because I don't think Steph Curry and that current roster will be good enough to get to the playoffs, to be completely honest with you. Andre, he's probably on his way out. I imagine he probably will retire after this season, because he's already talking about that he's not going to play that much longer. So we will see. We'll see what the Warriors are going to do for next season. In terms of the Raptors, I don't know what to think of Kawhi. I mean, I would imagine he would stay in Toronto, maybe do like a short-term deal. I wouldn't be surprised at all, though, if he ended up leaving. So, but they just need to enjoy the moment. They got their first championship, so I know they're gonna enjoy it. In other NBA news, KD, he did have a successful surgery on his Achilles. So, like I said, we do wish him a speedy recovery. Hope he comes back, and I hope he is still that killer that he was before the Achilles injury. You just hate to see that, because Achilles injuries are hard to come back from. So with the Warriors and all of their injuries, that has busted the doors open for the Western Conference. So, every year, obviously, them fully healthy with KD, they're a sure pick to go to the finals. And so with them out, now it's up in the air. So it gives a really good chance for my LA Lakers, raising my eyebrows in case you can't see it, gives them a good chance to get to the to the finals, man. They are currently in talks with New Orleans and acquiring AD. Last I've known, they offered Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and their 4th pick in next week's draft for Anthony Davis. And I guess they're kind of at a standstill. New Orleans Pelicans, they want Kyle Kuzma as well. And Lakers are kind of trying to keep Kyle Kuzma. I'm not sure which side has the leverage, because the Pelicans know that the Lakers need to get AD if they want to, make full use of LeBron in his final years and get to the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. The Lakers know that Anthony Davis, he announced that he wants to play with the Lakers or the New York Knicks. So any other team they try to trade for him is basically going to be a 1-year rental. Some teams are willing to take that chance, especially after just seeing Toronto win the championship on a 1-year rental for Kawhi Leonard. So we will have to see. In terms of their package for AD, I think Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and the 4th pick. I honestly think that's kind of lowballing, but like I said, the Lakers, they probably feel like that they have the ball in their park. I'm a fan of all of our Lakers young players, man. Lonzo Ball, I think he's a great defender. Transcendent passer and court vision, good rebounder. He can push the pace. His downside is obviously he's very inconsistent shooting the basketball, especially at the free throw line. He's like 40-something%, which is not going to get it done in the NBA. Brandon Ingram, his upside, he can get his own shot whenever he wants, right? He's a good mid-range shot creator. He's not really good at finishing at the rim, though. He kind of needs to get his strength up and needs to learn to protect the ball when he's driving to the rim. When he drives to the rim, he gets the ball stolen a lot. He's a pretty good defender as well. So, but for Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis can basically do it all. So, I understand that you got to make that trade happen for sure. So, we'll see on that. Hopefully, we do get AD soon, so we can start kind of building around him and LeBron, surrounding them with some 3-and-D guys, and we should be able to make some noise in the playoffs next year for sure. So, I'm really excited for that. I'm really hoping that, at some point in either area, whatever area of my, entrepreneurship, that it takes off and I'm able to travel to Lakers games, because I do want to go to a lot of Lakers games next year. So we will see about that. I'm praying, I'm hoping for that. But in other NBA news, we have, I don't think I touched on this. I did not touch on this last podcast. No. So Kyrie Irving, he fires his representative prior to a free agent, and he is reportedly joining Roc Nation Sports to represent him. And as you guys know, or if you don't know, Roc Nation is tied in with the Nets. And so there's reports going around that Kyrie Irving is favoring the Brooklyn Nets. He might join them. Unless they have some other stuff in the works that we don't know about yet, I don't see why Kyrie, I don't think that's a good fit for him, the Brooklyn Nets. From a basketball standpoint, they already have D'Angelo Russell, right? And I think they offered Russell the max. So then they'll probably offer Kyrie the max. They can't really add anybody else that's, top tier to that lineup. But it's like Russell and Kyrie, I don't see them working well together, because they both kind of have the same game. They both need to have the ball. They both need to, dribble to get their shot off. So I don't know. I just don't see that working out too well. Like I said, unless they have some things working in the works that I don't know about, that we don't know about, then I could be wrong, but I just don't think that the Brooklyn Nets would be a good fit for Kyrie Irving. But that's just my opinion. Maybe a lot of other people feel that way as well. So we shall see about that. Moving on to our final NBA topic. Kemba Walker of the Charlotte Hornets is willing to take less than the max that he is eligible for. He's willing to take less than the max and stay with the Hornets if it allows them to add pieces. Listen, I wish I had some I gotta add, some sound cues and some sound bites that I could play, because that's a clown move, brother. And the Hornets aren't going anywhere, man. They have a lot of other bad contracts with other players. They're not going to go anywhere. You need to be about your bag and get your max, brother. I just don't like what's there. What's there in Charlotte for you to stay with the Hornets and to take less money? You know what I'm saying? I'm either taking the max and staying in Charlotte and I'm getting my bag, or I'm leaving somewhere else where I could potentially still take a max and join a better team and compete. The Hornets are, I don't really see the upside in doing that. And like I said, it's because that, with him taking less doesn't necessarily mean that they're able to sign someone else big, because they have a lot of other shitty contracts within the Hornets organization. So, I mean, a round of applause for loyalty, I guess. Give them a round of applause for that. But, brother, you need to be about your bag and gotta be a little bit more realistic. Let's see. I think that's really some news that I'm excited to share. Sure you guys have heard by now, if you're into the Boondocks, the cartoon series that aired about probably a decade ago. 4 seasons. The first 3 seasons were absolutely sensational. The 4th season was dog shit. But the Boondocks is making a return. John Witherspoon on Joe Rogan's podcast kind of announced it. Then it was further announced on Twitter and social media that Aaron McGruder, the writer and the writer for the first 3 seasons, he's going to be coming back with the Boondocks as well. So it won't be like the 4th season. Hopefully we'll get some good content. Hopefully, with this day and age in social media, people aren't going to be too sensitive. But we got South Park, we got Family Guy, and I think the Boondocks is kind of above them 2 shows like South Park and Family Guy in terms of like sensitivity, like the whole R. Kelly scandal, and these episodes are probably going to be wild. So I'm really excited for that. Those are one of my favorite shows. As I was growing up, I used to love the Boondocks. I absolutely love the Boondocks. So that will do it. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Let me go through my notes real quick. I almost said chat. I thought I was streaming for a second. Oh boy. I will be streaming though. Twitch.tv/Strolific. Make sure you follow and subscribe to the channel. Help support the fucking dreams, baby. Use my language. Not really. But yeah, man, that'll do it for this 2nd episode of the Prolific Podcast. Thank you guys for rocking with me again. I really do appreciate it. On Twitch. Some Fortnite. So twitch.tv/Strolific again. If you want to check out the Twitch channel, I really would appreciate that as well. I'll also be following me on Twitter and Instagram at Strolific. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, leave a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. It helps the video get out there and it helps us get more potential new faces and new members of the community. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Much love. I am out.